Hello, my darlings. My name is Victoria, and this is Veritas Tarot. I'm going to do your daily mini reading for you this evening. I am going to use my Witch's Wisdom Tarot slightly differently. I'm also going to use another deck, my Angel Wisdom Tarot. I'm going to do a little bit of a longer reading. I feel like doing it this evening. I'm in that space. I'm going to look at your past, your present, and your potential future, depending on shifts and changes within you. We're going to use the Witch's Wisdom Tarot to see those, and then we're going to use the Angel Wisdom Tarot to get some clarifiers for you. So if it resonates, you are simply remembering what you already know within your soul in divine timing for you. And if it doesn't resonate, my darling, it wasn't for you at this time. There'll always be a reading out there for you to exactly the right time as guided by spirit. Thank you as ever for all of your gorgeous comments and your likes and your subscribes. I am so, so grateful. I am slowly replying to all of you, and I thank you for your patience at this time. And it's just a beautiful exchange of energy between us. It's an arigato between us. Thank you. And for those that wish to have a personal reading with me, all of the details are in the description box below. So let's move ahead and let's look at your past and see what wants to come out. This is for those that most need to hear the message. Thank you, Spirit. Past, for those that most need to hear this message. Thank you. The big old deck, this deck. There we are. Past. What have we got? 10 of Swords, 10 of Air. So that is in your past position, and I just want to show this to you at this time. So these are crows. Now, crows are very magical birds. Crows, you know, anything that's like a black bird represents rebirth. It represents messages from spirit. If you get a flock of them, it represents what is coming towards you is something that is like a surprise and delight, because the crows are the keeper of secrets. And it is that in that time in the past, when you were in the 10 of Swords, there were things that you were meant to know and there were things that you were not meant to know. And in the not knowing them, it was not the right time for you to be aware, because sometimes we have to go through the 10 of Swords space in order to get the experiences, the feelings, or the emotions, the feelings as a result of those experiences, in order for us to make those shifts and changes within ourselves. Now, the 10 of Swords is a place where you have shown an extraordinary amount of guts, of determination, of will to move yourself from that space, because this is in your past. And it is a point of time where there has been a moment where you felt that you didn't know how to move forward. You couldn't feel that you could move forward, not as destroying her basket, but you've reached for it. You've willed changes to happen for you, and that is beautiful. And change has happened for you, because these birds, when flocks happen, there is a transition, there is a movement, an instinctive movement, it is a migration, or it is a coming together of combined energies. And I think kind of flocks are sometimes known as sort of shape-shifting. So you've managed to shift yourself energetically and to transform almost the identity that you were taking into something else. I hope that makes sense. But when birds are in a flock, and I want to show you this card again, when birds are in a flock, they tend to, just like, what is it called? A murmuration, when birds do I don't know which birds it is, but they do that beautiful murmuration. Is it swallows? I can't, or sparrows, it could be sparrows, but they work as one. Okay, they work as one. So you've got here the birds working as one. And so they are working in unison, they are connected. And it is a reminder, just like the intuitive nature of flocks or birds doing the aerial acrobatics or their murmurations, which is wonderful to watch. They are all connected. Everything is connected. Your past is connected to your present, but it depends whether you are, and I'll look to see in the next card, whether you are bringing the past into the present or whether you have released it, because there is wheat here, which talks about abundance. And in the past, it shows to me, because of the 10 of Swords, in order to move out of that space, you had to let go of certain ways of thinking, certain well, you had to approach it with a mindfulness. You had to approach it with a positive way of thinking, as opposed to you couldn't see the way out of it. So it's about letting go sometimes of the rational approach. And sometimes we have to be out of our mind in order to make sense of it. Sometimes we have to literally be in our aware state, in our soul state, understanding that it's okay and that it will make sense when it's meant to make sense. Because when we're in the mind controlled state, we tend to overthink. And that is also the Ten of Swords. And we try and make explanations, we try and have reasonings. And sometimes the greatest wisdom is saying, I don't know, but I'm ready to receive the answers that bring me clarity, that I resonate with, and that I know are the right answers for me. So, and the Ten of Swords is you've willed yourself through this. So do stand in appreciation of something that was a big culmination of something, whether it was a big shift and change for you, at the end of something that you felt was important for you, but you've moved forward from that. So that's the Ten of Swords, and that's the birds. And remember, birds talk about, any birds talk about the freedom to fly, the freedom to change direction, the non-fear approach. The bird that sits on the branch doesn't fear the branch breaking because it can fly away. So maybe you have found your wings. Maybe you have changed and flown in a different direction. You've flown with the winds of change. So let's see what is now in your present. This is not really a daily mini reading, but I just feel it's time, and I felt like this was right to do this evening. So whomever I am reaching at this time, if this is for you, then Spirit wanted you to know this message. For those that most need to hear it, the present, please. Thank you, Spirit. Witch of Fire. Okay, so this is almost like the Queen of Wands here. So the Witch of Fire, what a beautiful thing. This is you in your present, kind of almost questioning yourself about in a state of being, because kings and queens are about being, okay? They're about accepting the present moment. What is it that you really, really want for yourself? You must know what you want for yourself before you can begin to ask it to the universe. And if you are letting in self-doubt and lack of self-confidence seep into that beautiful crystal clear intention, it's going to slightly murky. It's going to slightly put water on the fire. So if water represents our emotions, our feelings, and what we are emitting as an energy, emotion, a vibration to the universe, and fire represents our desire, our aspirations, our passion, our creative expression, then just be careful that what you are emotionally feeling right now isn't dampening that fire. It isn't suffocating it. And it's almost like this is why you've got this cobra here, which is, it is a cobra, no, a boa constrictor, isn't it? It's almost like this boa constrictor has put out the fire. And you can see there, the kind of fire has sort of gone out. So, and the candle has gone out here as well. So be very clear to yourself and to the universe what it is that you are asking for, what it is that you are desiring, and the reasons why you're doing it. And those reasons, my darling, is all about authenticity. It's all about what's right for you at this time, because what is right authentically for you, what feels right for you, even if it is not immediately clear, is also right for everybody else that you are connected to, because there is a ripple effect. There is that spider's web, imagining that as well, and that everything is very delicately balanced. So you must do what is right for you. So this is where you are in your present, and I can feel your determination, and I can feel you're grounded as well. But where before you flew like these birds away from an experience, you slightly, I'm getting the expression, tied yourself up in knots now with self-doubt, with a lack of self-confidence. And that's okay, because again, you're exactly where you're meant to be. This moment in time is for you to consider, to review, to take a pause, to think about what vibration you're giving out and what you can do to increase your self-confidence, to increase the respect for what you do. Because remember, if this is your authentic self, if this is something that's for your life path, and this is something you know that you want to do, then that is something that your soul has decided. And therefore your soul is the universe, it's God, it's spirit. So we can't really argue with that, can we? So obviously you're very good at it. So focus on being the Queen of Wands right now and being able to receive, because if you don't feel that you deserve it, or you don't feel that you are enough for it, then how can you receive what is intended for you? So you've got to kind of be a bit of a badass about this and just really empower yourself to say, no, this is why I'm here, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And then your will, your intent becomes your will, and your drive and your ambition and your focus and your desire creates a beautiful momentum of energy, and the fire represents that energy. So don't let that go out. And then we're going to look at your future. I'm not going to do these long readings all the time, but as I said, I did feel like doing this evening. Thank you, Spirit, for future. Ming White Funny, you've got now the Two of Fire, which is the Two of Wands. So you've got here, again, snakes. So first of all, let me just, snakes represent rebirth. They represent shedding of skins, shedding something that was perfectly great for when you needed that skin, but now that skin's not needed anymore. And it is time to slither on, to move on. Snakes also can't hear. And you've heard me say this before, they can only see. So it is sometimes about drowning out all the noise that you may hear in your mind about yourself and about how you can do this or can't do this, and trust and rely on your direct perspective of things. You are the only one that has direct perspective of your life. Nobody else does. It also talks about not necessarily listening to the doubt or negativity of others around you, but trust your direct perspective of life, because you and only you are living in your universe, and you and only you trust and know, or don't trust and know, your thoughts, your feelings, and what you are desiring. You know your knowings, darling, and everybody has their own, but you have to trust in that. So Spirit is asking you to trust right now. And with the Two of Wands, and with these snakes here again, it's like you're trying to decide that way or that way. And there's something also is, what is it when this looks like this? Is it a water? It brings up, it's like a magic, finds water and everything. So it's about Spirit asking you to find the right emotion within you before you take any action. Find the right emotion, not right really, is it, Spirit? It's more like find the desired expression within you, find that moment of excitement and inspiration and desire, and then take action. Don't do it in a should space or, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this. But if you're going to do it, do it. Take that first step, start the momentum rolling, just keep doing it. Because at the moment, it's like your fear is stopping you. It's a bit like this cobra, it's paralyzing you. Don't fear what is ahead, because that is fearing something that is not real other than what your mind is saying it is. Fear is, it's, if you can walk through that fear in this present moment, and this is about your future, it's saying that unless you can face and acknowledge that actually where you are right now is almost a figment of your imagination, you're creating this fear space within yourself. But Don't let fear in the future, because there are, with this Two of Wands, decisions to be made, decisions that you have subconsciously or consciously chosen. And there are many different directions you can go in, but choose ones that are instinctively right for you. Don't make choices from fear. Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let fear stop you. Have the courage to feel the fear. Feel it. Acknowledge its fear and still act through it, because that's when you're coming to the edge. That's when we're at our most transformative, because it is through the courage to step through your fear, or even if it's a lethargy attached to the fear, you feel like you can't do things because you can't make that first step to do it. It's through stepping through it that you grow in confidence and love and respect for yourself, because you've gone and done it. And do whatever scares you, darling. And as you're moving through it and feeling it, make it your friend. Thank it. Say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for almost giving me like a adrenaline rush, but I'm doing it. You know how terrifying it is sometimes when you have to go, say, for example, stand up in public. You got to do it. When I first made the decision to come onto YouTube, I remember, my first ever one. And you might go back and watch it, some of you, and I look back and I think, oh my goodness. I was so nervous. I was so fearful, but I stepped through my fear to do it because I knew this was my life path. And I felt so proud of myself afterwards for doing it. And then each and every time I did it again, I did it again, I did it again. And I felt more and more relaxed. So you've got to work at it. You've got to show yourself that you are more than capable of doing this. And Spirit believes this. And in going through the fear, in embracing it and thanking it for showing you, because the fear is there also to show you that that as you are walking through it, you are receiving insights. If the fear wasn't there, it would be any old hat, you wouldn't care. But the fear has to be there in order for you to transform. I hope that makes sense. So don't let fear paralyze you. This is in the future. Now I'm going to look at angel wisdom cards, just to get a little bit of, is that my, yeah, I picked up, that's it. I picked up, ooh, that's my cards falling down. I did a little jump there. Bear with me. I'm just going to put the light back on. It's very funny. That was my light on. If anybody has any good ideas about how to stick lights on without them constantly falling off, I'd be very grateful. So, with the fear is your friend, okay? Because the fear is allowing for you to transform because of it. So that's why you also say thank you to the fear. Right. So we're now going to look at the angel wisdom. Thank you, Light, for staying. We're going to look at the angel wisdom deck and see what messages. So let's have a look at the 10 of swords. Thank you, Spirit. What wants to come out? Too many cards. And again, please. Thank you. The 10 of swords. Thank you. No, again, just one card, please. I feel like they're saying that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. So you've got the same card as in the present. So you've got the Queen of Fire again. This is, whether you're male or female watching this, this is the feminine side of you, the intuitive side of you in this. Even within that space of the 10 of swords where you have felt stuck, I want you to look back at the past when you were in that space and think about, even in that negative caught, trapped space where you felt that things were stuck and things weren't happening, think about what you actually manifested in that space. Because even then, you were the Queen of Wands there. You were vibrating at an energy. You were manifesting subconsciously. What did you manifest, my darling? Because this is beautiful. And now in the present, it's like the self-doubt has kicked in. The self-doubt has kicked in the present, and that fire's gone out. But it was there in the past. Even when you were tied up in knots about whether you could or couldn't do something, you were manifesting. And Spirit uses the words here: intelligent, exuberant, and determined. determined. It's such a beautiful word, determined, isn't it? In that space, you were determined. Find that feeling of determination again. Find that feeling of, do you know what? I can do this. And to do that, almost it's about looking at examples of what you've done in the past, even when you felt the fear. So that's the Queen of Wands. And you were comfortable in that space. You were comfortable. You were really good. So what is it that's put the fire out? So let's have a look with the Queen of Wands in the present. Thank you, Spirit. And if there is something that's happened that was related to the Ten of Swords, again, think about what you have grown and how you've learned from it, because it happened for you in order to expand you, in order to expand your awareness, in order for you to shift and change and grow. It wasn't something that's taken you back. That may be your mind saying that you think it's a setback, but actually it was a step forward. It's not a setback or a step back. It was a step forward for you, but you have to flip the perspective in your mind. Thank you, Spirit. The Witch of Fire. Thank you. That's the Queen of Fire. They really want to the Wheel of Fortune wanted to pop. I just want one card, please, Spirit. That one wanted to come out. So you've got the Emperor, and I saw the Three of Wands, which is about manifesting. So I feel something with the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor on a really good day. This is the divine masculine side. The Emperor on a really good day is somebody who does take their original ideas, their inspiration, their creative expression, and they then put practical, logical, chop wood, pour water steps in order for that to keep that momentum going. But the Emperor on a bad day, over excited day, will rush forward and might steamroll over things, or just want this to happen so badly that they're not doing that lovely sort of pause, reflect, and stopping and everything. And so that's what I'm feeling that may have happened, that you may have kind of something didn't happen that you really, really wanted to happen. And Spirit wants you to look at how, if something didn't happen, and maybe it hasn't happened in the past before as well, look at doing it differently now. Look at doing it hand in hand with Spirit now as well. So let's move forward, because the world's your oyster, darling. With what your passion and your ambition is, the world is your oyster. It just is asking for a very sensitive approach to this, and an understanding that if you're working within the natural flow of the universal laws, then let that natural flow happen. Don't try and force something to be if it's not meant to be at a particular point of time, and with the understanding that perhaps what didn't happen was meant to not happen in order for something else to happen later. So there's always a ripple effect. There's always a rhyme and reason for everything. And now let's look at the two of fire for you. Thank you, Spirit. You're very smart, my darling. You're very talented. Spirit has your back. This is important. Spirit has your back. And you are here to inspire. You're here to lead. You're here to show people. You're here to help people see a different framework to things. I hope that makes sense, to see things in a different light. For many of you, that will make sense. But there is a way, it's about listening to ideas, advice from other people. Sorry about my phone. It's about listening to, because the Emperor is all four kings. So, you know, this is somebody, you have all the tools you need. You have all the tools you need. You have the right communication skills. You have the passion and the desire. You are consciously aware of things and able to create, you know, you have that sort of, that touch about you. And you, the emotional kind of fulfillment is there. This makes you feel very emotionally fulfilled. So you have everything you need. It's just maybe that sense of timing but also to let go of things that stopped you in your tracks, with the release and understanding that that was meant to be. May not completely get it at this moment, but you may get it. You know that you'll get it when at the right time. So now let's look at the Two of Fire. Straight out. Yeah, of course. So we've now got the Queen of Water and the King of Air. So these are two very beautiful kind of masculine, feminine within you at this time. So the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups, here is a lovely card. Loving, giving, and psychic. So I feel for many of you listening, this as the Two of Fire, this is your soul's purpose, your soul's intent. This is something, as I said, you have made, set it in stone, set it as your intention to do in this lifetime. And I feel that you are here as a helper, as a healer, whatever that may mean to you. You may be a reader, you may be a counselor, you may be helping people through writing, you may be involved in healing that is energy healing. Whatever it is that you know that you're here and this is your sole purpose, you are a good listener, you can understand. It says here, loving, giving, and psychic. And you are doing it from your authentic self. And maybe you have lost that courage within you, but Spirit is saying, this is what you're here to do. This is your gift. And somebody very wise told me some beautiful words from Spirit, that everybody that comes to you has been sent by God. Everybody that comes to you has been sent by the universe. There is a reason for it. So why fear? Because you are there to do the universe's will. You are there as a helping hand. You are there as a messenger or a healer. And you know, we can't heal another, but we can help another, sort of trigger them, the ability for them to heal themselves. So you are a turnkey. You know, you're here to kind of ignite somebody to be that point of time where they go, oh, that's what I'm going to do now. So that is you as the Queen of Water, and it's a beautiful, beautiful space to be, and it's a beautiful life path to have. And then you've got the King of Air, knowledgeable, objective, respected. And I want to show you this card. So this is on the masculine side. When you are within that Queen of Cups mode, when you are connected, when you are doing, and this doesn't necessarily, you know, for many of you, there are many different types of healing, helping things. And as I said, you could be writing a book, you could be producing a film, whatever it is, you know, somebody who's an amazing author and puts work out there, whether it's whatever type of book it is, they do so with the understanding that they're never going to know who's going to read it, but the universe will always send, because everything is connected, those that are meant to read that book. So whatever you're doing that you feel you wish to help others, then this is you effectively. And with the King of Air coming into this reading, it is saying you have so much divine wisdom to share. Within that space of being the Queen of Cups, you are psychic, i.e. you're connecting to source energy. You are channeling. You are, sorry about my dog snoring. You are providing divine source wisdom through you. You're asking for the right words to say. They are coming and you probably don't remember them afterwards. So when you are in, excuse me, sorry about that. Just been for a big walk today. So you are connected. It's like this tree here is connected. I'm going to just pause for a second and just give her a little stroke, because I know it's funny, but this is not. I'm sorry. I want to focus on this. Bless her cotton socks. So when you're in that space of being connected, you are connecting to source energy. And this is you connected here. You are communicating a message. You are communicating Spirit's message through your words, through your actions, through your hands, whatever it is, my darling. This is that sword that represents that clarity. And as does the snow represent the clarity. And the tree here represents how everything is connected. And trees are old and they're wise, and they provide a home for many different animals. So there are a variety of different people coming to you, or will be coming to you, for that necessary protection at the time, that necessary word, advice, hug, whatever it is. And You can see here that sort of king symbol there. This is something that is intrinsically a part of you. You are acting as the divine. And the icicles do represent that space where it's like that frozen ice I talked about. The frozen ice. Ice is frozen, but ice, it's about that slight rigidity that comes in when you're frozen in fear. But don't be, so just allow the words to come, allow it to come, step through it, trust that spirit has got you. You know, sometimes when I do a reading, that's what happens, but I trust, and always spirit shows me that this is what I should be saying, and I'm shown, and it's beautiful. So I've come into a space of completely relaxing and trusting. You have to trust. Trust is the major, beautiful ingredient to this magic. But that is the King of Swords there. And you have, you know, there have been obstacles that you've overcome. There have been all of it, but it's all been necessary for you, because you know, we go through all these experiences in order to be ready to be that next version, that next enlightened version of ourselves. I'm going to pull one last card for you, and they are telling me to pull. Oh, look at that. You've got the wheel on the bottom of the deck. So that is that beautiful card of just allow this to flow, allow this to, you know, and sometimes what happens is, and I've noticed this with my readings, is that I suddenly feel a shift. I suddenly feel something slightly change within me, and I could never put my finger on it. But there have been various shifts as I have been a reader. And so acknowledge them and say thank you for them. And then just know there might be another shift. There might be a pause time where you think, oh, I've disconnected. And I don't know what, for some of you, this may be people reading, but it may be you've got a writer's block, or you can't produce something that's artistic at the moment. Whatever it is that you're doing, darling, it's about, by walking through your fear, you're allowing the change to happen, the necessary change to happen. Thank you, Spirit. And you, look at this, the Three of Wands. This is something that you are causing and creating. Your soul is causing, creating to help you be this next greatest, grandest version of yourself. That is the Three of Wands. And it doesn't come through overthinking it. The mind is never going to make sense of this. You've got to let go of the mind. You've got to be out of your mind now and go into that aware state of being. And then you've got the Devil card and the Strength card side by side. So the Devil is anything that you're telling yourself that is negative, anything that's taking the Empress away from you, that empowered state of being. Be aware of it. And just say, no, that is the old program me. That is the conditioned me. That is the identity, that the personality. I am the I am experiencing itself. And I'm here to help, to evolve myself and to help others. And so this is what I'm here to do. So release those fears. And, you know, everybody is, the universe is God's messenger. And many times of their life, it doesn't matter what roles, what responsibilities they have, we all play a part in the conscious evolution of each other. So, and I come back to, we're all energetically connected. So try and release those self depreciation things that you have about yourself. And there is Nut now barking, and it's time for me almost to finish this reading. Bear with me. And finally, my darling, you have the Strength card. The Strength card in this, for here for you now, talks about how strong your connection is with your aware state of being, how strong your connection is to spirit, to your soul. It is stronger than the ego pain body side of you. It is amazing. The oxen here is this journey, and it's not really a journey, it's always about where we are presently. It's not really a destination, as you know. It's about the whole experience of being here. It is a slow one. It can be an arduous one at times. It can feel like we have a huge weight to carry sometimes, but it's actually about releasing. The strength comes in releasing what no longer serves us, which makes us feel lighter and more connected till we come back to the no thing, the nothing, the observant self, the silent self, observing everything. I am living and breathing the great observance. And sometimes searching and seeking for the answers, reading too much, listening too much, Sometimes that is not what you're meant to do. It's about connecting to yourself and asking yourself for the answers, because yourself, darling, itself, experiencing itself, will give you those answers at the right time for you. And the journey can be harder when we think it's about gathering information as opposed to releasing information. And so whatever you take from this reading that resonates, that's all you're meant to take. You may not want to take any of this, or you may take one tiny little morsel of it, and that's all you need to take right now. But that is the strength card for you in this position. And I think that's just beautiful. You are amazing, my darling. And there you have it. As I said, that the Ace of Cups, just beautiful. You are amazing. You have a heart full of love. You have emotionally, you are ready to do this. Emotionally, you are. I do want you to look up the Kingfisher. Kingfisher is an amazing still bird. It represents stillness, doesn't it? And it also is majestic in its approach of catching fish. And fish represent abundance. There is plenty there. But it wouldn't catch them if the waters were, it would be much more difficult for the Kingfisher to get the fish if the waters were turbulent, which represents very restless and up and down emotions, you know, a little bit like we talked about yesterday. But this Kingfisher, when in a space of where you're overflowing with appreciation for who you are, my darling, then you allow the abundance to come towards you, which is just beautiful. And that's the Ace of Cups, that feeling of connecting back to source energy. That is, I'm going to finish by saying, the most important relationship you will ever have in your life is the relationship you have with source energy, with yourself, with your higher self. From that, all else comes, darling. So I'm going to leave that on that. And certainly more than a daily mini reading, but I know I needed to do that message for you this evening. I look forward to doing another reading for you tomorrow. And yes, I know Libra and Aries, it hasn't been the right time for you. I am doing them this week for you. And then I'm moving on to the summer readings. Have a rest of a lovely day or evening, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Lots of love, my darlings. Bye-bye.